Hello, fellow sojourners here in the world of virtual. We are all being pressed to go online, and I just find it interesting because I've really wanted to learn how to do online video making for my day job, and now I'm going to have to do it for my PhD, and I just love that push. My name is Debbie Schumer. I'm coming to you from Midland, Michigan. That is known as the Great Lakes Bay region. We are really, generally speaking, an agriculture community. Our economy is big on ag, but then we also have Dow and DuPont and Corteva and some other major companies right here in this hub area, which makes Midland City great in terms of philanthropy and educated individuals, because again, we are the hub of this whole Great Lakes Bay Area in terms of the largest concentration of PhDs in the state of Michigan is in Midland. Second is Ann Arbor. So that's a little bit about where I'm at and where I'm coming from. What I'm doing here, I don't know. My background is all business. So I have a BBA in organizational leadership, and I have an MBA, much of my background has been in the area of online learning. 17 years it took me to get that MBA at night. I'm a grinder. I'm somebody who came from dirt poor on through the love of Christ, which at the time I did not know it, because again, I got saved in my 30s. God was planning doors to open for me when I was, being stupid and frankly escaping out of windows to the next thing. He woke me up on a beach in Florida, told me to get educated, and 17 years later, I walked with my master's degree from a university or college called Walsh College down in Troy, Michigan. I started working there, helped build out their online learning program. That's the beginning of my virtual learning capacity. I worked there 7.5 years. Our model ended up being the hallmark for local universities to come in and see what we were doing in online learning. This would have been in the 2000s, early 2000s. Finishing up my MBA there, and then the next thing I know, I'm over at Rochester College in Rochester, Michigan, as their director of online learning, trying to get a framework built out in that very traditional faculty-led institution. And let's just say, those of you who work in higher ed, you understand the oligarchies that lead higher ed, and they were not ready for online learning as an option for the student. Never been somebody who said, or who embraces one model for all. I think the blended model is the best, but then you got the online, etc. So was at Rochester College for a couple years, again, building out their framework for their online learning program. I moved over to University of Phoenix when my youngest came, taught online from my home for over a decade. Love that. And then now I'm over at Northwood University, again in Midland, Michigan. We moved to Midland for access to great public education. My preface then, or I should say hence why I brought up corporate America. Somebody who understands compassionate capitalism. I know that communities that have great partnerships with business and faith-based communities create a community that is very strong in philanthropy and giving back. And so we moved to Midland for access to public education. And then now it just was natural for me to leave Phoenix and move over to Northwood. It's right in my backyard. So right now I work at Northwood University as a career coach and a internship coordinator for the university, and I teach career development courses. All right, my plan after this course is to get back into the classroom. Ultimately, in my final 20 years on the planet, Lord willing, I'd like to take a PhD with all of my experience and be able to go virtually online anywhere and help teach coursework. And with my background all in business, I selected communication because my oral communication skills are challenging. I'm a teller, not an asker, and I want to learn how to put words together in a non-abrasive way. And so I want a PhD not only for me to help me with an area that's really a weakness of mine, but to help others understand how they can overcome that weakness through education and training. I have so far dug into some of the material, and I just love it. I love learning about the history of communication and how orality. My favorite so far has been the orality and literacy book, because I learned about Graphilex, and I love learning new things. So, all right, I'm going to stop now. That's a little bit about me. And I don't know, it's my very first ever made video. I don't even know where my eyes go. I'm trying to go right here to the what I think is the camera eye, but I'll get better as time moves on. Thanks everyone for flexing with me just a bit.